So yeah, my name is Erik. I'm 27 years old. My major was in computer science, and I'm currently working as a programmer or data engineer for a consultant company. Describe what kind of allowance you received, including the name of the allowance. So during my studies, I received an allowance, and in Swedish we just call it study grant. So, and the study grant is about $375 a month.
But you also took like a student.
Yeah, I also took the student loan, but I'm not sure if I should include that. But yeah, we can talk about the student loan. So on top of the grant, you also can take a loan. So the grant is just free money, basically. But the loan you have to repay. So I took the loan almost the entirety of my studies. So for 5 years or something. And I think it's a very beneficial loan. So you get almost no what's it called? Renta. I can't remember. Yeah. So yeah, you only have to pay a maximum amount of 500 SEK a month when you start repaying the loan, which I have done. So it's even yeah, the like minimum amount you have to pay is also very low on the loan. So that's it's very beneficial. And a lot of people are actually taking the loan and then just saving it or investing it.
500 SEK is roughly $50 a month.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, to start receiving the grant, you have to like guarantee to the board of study grants that you are going to study at least at 75% pace. So and they will give you like they will give you money even though you haven't started studying yet, of course. But so yeah, and in Sweden, a Swedish university student is expected to complete like 60 so-called university points every year, and a course is somewhere between 6 and 15. So if you complete a course, you get like 7.5 points or something, and you have to take you have to complete 75% of that every semester. So one semester would be 30 points, and so you would have to complete 22.5 points that semester. And unless you do that, or if you do that, you can keep getting the grant. But if you don't, then you won't receive the grant until you take those points. So there might be 1 month or so where if you fail a bunch of courses that you didn't receive the grant, and then the next month you complete the courses in some kind of way, and then you start getting the grant again. So and it's the same with the loan. The loan has the exact same requirements for that. Yeah, I think that's it on the conditions. But yeah.
If you work at the same time.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't work too much because but you always get the grant though, right? You can take the grant no matter how much money you make.
But you will get a repay like I got. They will say.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that's kind of. But yeah, you can only make I think it's like $6,000 a year or something from employment, from any employment, and if you make any more than that, you can't take the loan at least. So yeah, then you will have to repay it, stuff like that. But yeah, I think everyone did at my school at least because there's really no. I mean, if you're going to school, it's just free money, really. But if you're completing your courses, so there's no reason not to take it, I guess, unless you have some moral things about that. But for most of my time when I was studying, I mean, it's just if you're not paying any rent, it's just gonna be like beer and the clothes and basic living expenses. Yeah, exactly. So and that's I mean, you do get some every start of the semester you do get some more money because you're supposed to buy books and stuff like that. So yeah, maybe you can find the books on the internet free. But yeah, stuff like that. I mean, you can spend it on anything. There's really no yeah, the board of grants or study grants, they won't check what you're spending anything on. So it's really up to you what you're gonna spend it on. And yeah, it's just normal student stuff. I think everyone is spending it on. I mean, yeah, there's this board in Sweden that would that is responsible for all the student grants, and they yeah, you just apply, and I think it was very easy. Just next finish, and then you have money on your account, yeah, basically. But yeah, the only
the bank, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it was I mean, because the rules for the grant is pretty, I mean, it's not super strict, but there are some requirements for you to get the grant. So it's just not yeah, free money basically. But so it does feel like you are deserving of the money, and it makes you feel like you're getting them because you're doing something. You know, you're doing something beneficial for the country and stuff like that. And so that made it feel like you weren't really relying on somebody else, because I think if I didn't have a study grant, I would have to ask my parents for money every month and stuff like that. Because and I think that's just super important that you get that freedom and stuff like that. And with the study grant and with the study loan, you could theoretically move anywhere in the country and study there, and it gives like freedom of movement for all the students in the country and stuff like that. And yeah, so I think that was really important. Yeah, I think it's good because I think there's a big difference between like a study grant. I think if a study grant were issued unconditionally, it wouldn't be a study grant really. And I think if you put conditions on basic income, it would just be another unemployment grant really. So, and I think yeah, I really like the idea of basic income basically, but and especially for youth where they could be, I mean, it can be really tough getting a job or getting any work, because it's basically so much luck involved and connections and stuff like that. And if you don't have that, then kind of screwed, at least in most countries. So yeah, well, I think that's great. I like high taxes. I think high taxes is good with a pretty with no, but if I mean you shouldn't pay high taxes on low income. I don't think that's great, but you should pay high taxes on high income for sure. And I think yeah, that's my idea at least. And yeah, corporate taxes and stuff like that. So it should be. I don't think there's a problem in and you do save a lot of money with basic income, because you're probably removing some of the benefits that you're already giving out in the country and stuff like that, and you're just removing a large part of bureaucracy with some of the requirements that already exist on the current grants and stuff like that you can get, and the unemployment grants, stuff like that. I was not the best student, but I don't think but I don't think maybe any more lazy than if I had received no money, to be honest. And I mean, I started working pretty like part-time pretty early anyway, so I didn't receive the grant or the loan, at least for because I moved to student housing, and then you had to pay rent and stuff like that, and everything got way more expensive. So but so I started working part-time, and then I didn't get the loan for a while. But I don't think I maybe more lazy, and I think it's, even if it does make some people more lazy, it's gonna save a lot of people from yeah, bad situations and you know, being dependent on other people and stuff like that. So
this loan that you were given for the how much debt did you accumulate over your study period?
I have somewhere around $20,000 in debt. But I think the important distinction is, or like in other countries, when you have a student loan, it's mostly because you pay the school a lot of money to go to the school. And but all the debt I have, I've already spent those money on stuff I enjoyed probably. But so I think it's a bit different. Yeah, I think basic income is great, and I think it should be universal. Everyone should receive it. But because yeah, I think you could probably transition your society into, or any society into, like a less work-centered one, because I feel like when with all the automation going on and stuff, every worker is producing more for every work hour right now than they did at any time before. And at some point, like the production that we are producing right now has to exceed the demand of all the consumers in the world. And then we could have a shorter work week. We could have a universal basic income, and with like a 20 or 30-hour work week, we could have more jobs available, so that everyone, because I think it's important to have some purpose at least, and I think having a work or a job is really one way to give someone that. But it could be really hard to give everyone a job, and I think that's a universal basic income is super great to do that. Yeah, I think it's that sounds really good, because and I think any model that will move us closer to a universal basic income is a good one. And it's like yeah, but yeah, even just having 1 year of basic income is I think that will help a lot of people with a lot of things. Yeah, I mean, of course it can be expensive, but yeah, probably some other programs would be removed as well, or some other social security programs would be removed. And yeah, but of course you will have to increase taxes, but I don't think everyone should see that as a bad thing. Yeah, I don't think that's the way to go about it, but I think that's a common way to look at it, even in Sweden, and we have a ton of allowance programs, different safety nets everywhere and stuff like that. But yeah,